Hey guys, it is week 13 of The Only Way Through. My name is Hannah. If we haven't met yet, it's really good to meet you. I started this about 13-14 weeks ago as a way to break through my self-doubt and my creative blocks and to get outside of my comfort zone and just do the thing and be in process and show up here week to week, however I'm feeling. And so that is what I'm doing. This week, I was gonna switch it up. I was kind of thinking I wouldn't do one of these chatty videos. But then, as it turns out, I was like, I kind of feel like doing a chatty video this week for once. So I decided to do one. One of you in the comments suggested that I could talk a bit about what I've learned so far in this process, and I liked that idea. So I'm just gonna do a few things. I think the first thing that I have learned is, before this, I always felt like if I started doing something like this, I would have to share it with everyone in my life. I'd have to, post it on my social media and be like, I'm doing this thing and watch if you can, and, really try and get my kind of people, to engage with it. And that was always a block for me. And with this, I realized I don't have to do that. I've now told a few people in my life who I feel very connected to and supported by, and it felt good to share that with them eventually, but I kind of took my time in doing so. And I think that gave me some space to kind of try it out first, see how it was feeling, get a few videos up, and just kind of create. It's interesting. What comes to mind to me is like a bouncy castle, basically, but it's all deflated. And the bouncy castle is a concept or an idea or something, some project that I want to do, that you want to do. And, you need to blow life into that project. You need to make the bouncy castle grow and become a thing. And I think in the past, I've started pumping air life into something, and I get really motivated and excited, and I'll start to go, and then something will be a leak, an energy leak. And this usually comes in some sort of block for me. It's like a pin in the bouncy castle that air escapes through. And for me, a lot of the time, it was a sort of fear around what people who kind of know me would think if I was posting this to my social media or whatever. In the scheme of things, not a big deal. But it would just deflate the bouncy castle that I was trying to, pump air into. It would just do that little pin, and then I could just hear and feel air escaping. And it's really helpful, that kind of image for me, because now I can it gives me a way of imagining, an idea growing and expanding, and I can kind of feel and sort of picture what the things are that create the little holes that let the air out. So that was one of them for me. That was a big long tangent, but one of them was, if I have to share this and ask people to watch it who know me or who kind of know me, I'm just gonna lose momentum and I'm gonna get too in my head. I just know that about myself at this point. And so in order to, kind of start off on my little Bambi legs as a beginner, I need to protect that project for now. And what's easier for me has been just posting it to strangers. So to you guys. And I really appreciate being able to do that. And it's been a cool learning experience of sometimes, you just need to keep it you don't need to share it with everyone. You know, you don't need to tell everyone that that's what you're doing. You just get to do it for you. And if they stumble upon it, cool. But they don't need to watch it. You're not asking. You're just doing it for you and for whoever else it finds. And I think that is maybe my number one advice to people who are struggling to start something. That's what I would go back and tell my younger self, is just like, you don't need to share it with everyone you know. It's okay. And you can do that eventually or not, or, you know. So yeah, that's one. Number two, I would say, you know, the theory kind of going into this was that I was gonna, you know, my hypothesis was that taking little baby steps was going to snowball and create momentum and be the only way through the blocks I was experiencing. And as much as there has been ups and downs in my momentum and my confidence with it, overall, it is getting easier to share. It is becoming a muscle that I am working and feeling more confident with. And that is really cool to see and to really have evidence for at this point. You know, when I started, it was just a theory. Now I have built this container, this channel into something where now I feel like, oh, like I could share this other thing, or I could start this project. And, you know, there's kind of a series of shorts that I've wanted to make for years. And now I feel like I have somewhere where that I could actually picture that eventually going, which is really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. So that's another thing. And I'd say the third thing is that it really is okay to just start doing something. There's never going to be a perfect time or where you feel perfectly confident or ready to try something new. You really only learn by being in it and trying and doing things and experimenting. And it's gonna be okay, you know? Some weeks it's gonna feel shitty, and then other weeks it's gonna feel really good, and it's all part of the process. Yeah, so I've learned that, and then I would say technical stuff too. Like, it's given me, because I started this with the idea of like, I'm a beginner, I'm trying things out, I'm experimenting. It's kind of created a place where I get to experiment technically with my camera and learn about editing and learn about coloring, and that is kind of the direction I want to go further with. But it now feels possible because I have this space. And I would also say another piece of something that I've learned, or that I continue to kind of learn, is that whenever I get a little in my head about like, you know, why does this matter, or anything, is just coming back to the idea that it really is for me, you know, it's my channel. And if you're creating something similar, it's like, it's for you ultimately, you know, as a creator, as an artist, or as a human. And you get to kind of just ground, I keep saying it, ground with that, but it really helps me, because otherwise I get too in my head, you know. And I love connecting with people and knowing that there are people out there watching and that this resonates with. But if I get too far into that, I can always pull myself back and be like, you know what, this is just for you. You're just Hannah exploring your creativity, and chatting, and adding your voice to the world, you know, and we need everybody's voice. So I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope some of this resonates. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Okay, talk soon. Bye.